Hey everybody, David here, and I wanted to talk about video game movies. Assassin's Creed is coming out this week, and it is getting really bad reviews. I believe last time I checked, it was down around 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. Might have gone down a lot more since then. I didn't bother checking again because, bad reviews are bad reviews, and that's all I'm hearing about this movie. And it's kind of sad too because for someone who doesn't play too many video games, I was looking forward to this movie because I thought the trailers looked good. I used to be a video gamer when I was younger, but sometime around high school or college, I got over it. I was getting bored of playing video games. I got frustrated with losing all the time. And so I played very easy games after that. And even now, I don't play. I'm not playing anything currently. So, if I do play something, I probably want to go back and play some of those old classic games from the original Nintendo or Super Nintendo or something like that, Those side-scrolling games, those were a lot of fun. But Assassin's Creed, getting back on topic, it's kind of sad that, this is another video game movie that isn't doing so great. And we also had Warcraft earlier this year, which I did a review on, which wasn't... It was an improvement over other video game movies, I guess, but it wasn't like... I'm not putting it in my top 10 of movies of this year. And it will probably become forgettable as time goes on unless a sequel can do a better job at it. And that we even had Angry Birds, which I haven't seen yet. It's been out on Blu-ray for a while, and I haven't gone out renting it or whatever. And you know what? I heard not so great things about that too. I heard it was okay at best. And that was animated, and animated movies usually have a better chance at being better than most live-action films. It's kind of sad when you think about it. Like, what is Hollywood doing wrong with these video game franchises? We've had some okay ones in the past. Obviously Mortal Kombat is pretty cool for nostalgic reasons, but when you really do look at that original Mortal Kombat film, it isn't the best movie ever made. It's a dumb, fun popcorn flick. That's just dumb and cheesy at times. But we enjoy it more for nostalgia reasons. I think if we saw that movie today, we wouldn't enjoy it the way we do today. If it was a movie that came out right now. And then there's like the Super Mario Brothers movie. One of the first movies ever made. I saw that movie in theaters in 1993. One of the first video game movies. And, I enjoy it, again, for nostalgic reasons. I look at that movie the same way I look at the Mortal Kombat movie. It's a stupid movie. Probably a little bit more poor made. But I enjoy it as, like, a guilty pleasure. I think it's a terrible, good movie. If that makes sense. And, then there's the Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie. The first one, I think a lot of people can agree, is tolerable, but then the second movie is like... I think the second movie is the same as the first movie. But I know I'm one of the few at that. And then there's movies like that are not based off video games that are more enjoyable, like Wreck-It Ralph or the Tron. They're not video game movies, like they're not based on any particular video game, but they have sort of that video game vibe. And it's funny because those ones I think are considered, those two anyways, are considered a little bit better than, or a lot better, especially Wreck-It Ralph, way better than any actual video game film. And it's kind of sad. Like, why can't Hollywood get this right? What is the deal here? Obviously, Hollywood wants video game movies to be the next big thing because there is only so long you can ride on the coattails of superhero films, And one day I'm going to embrace myself when the day comes. That superhero movies aren't going to last forever. That there is going to be a time where they will start to fizzle away because people might get a little fatigue of them. In some ways, maybe it's starting. So video game movies are Hollywood's next hope. So how do you fix this genre that, people are getting this wrong? Why don't these studios hire a big name director to direct it? Like, get Christopher Nolan, get Steven Spielberg, get Martin Scorsese. I don't care who you have to get, but clearly, getting these directors that aren't as big or well known, clearly it's not working. And maybe you need a very creative director with a very solid past of films under their belt. Maybe you need someone like that to really help this genre find its footing, because it seems like everything else isn't working. And maybe another thing that a lot of people or studios should try to do is maybe find a genre that you can mix it with. For an example, you look at a lot of these superhero movies right now, and the reason I think a lot of them, specifically Marvel, is keeping it fresh is because they're finding subgenres to mix the superhero genre with. For an example, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War were political thrillers, right? That's how Kevin Feige described it. The Thor films have been sort of their epic fantasy. You can look at Avengers and Man of Steel as like those alien invasion films. Christopher Nolan had described The Dark Knight as his crime drama, with The Dark Knight Rises being a war movie. And that's sort of what Star Wars is getting into too, with Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which just came out recently. Lucasfilm, the president of Lucasfilm, described Rogue One as a war movie. And, you got so many other ones. Ant-Man was a heist film. Maybe that's what they have to do with the video game genre. Find another genre that you want to tackle and you want to make this video game movie similar to. Or, even a better idea, find a video game with a really cool concept and just follow whatever that story was. Like, find a video game that actually has a plot and then adapt that plot to screen. I'm hearing Uncharted, I believe it is, has a really good plot. I've had family and friends who have played that video game told me it's almost like a movie. So, and I know they are making that movie, but will they stick true to what that plot was in the game? That's the unknown part, because so far it seems like they are trying to find ways to stick true, but the plot sounds like it's always falling apart. So maybe the best way to do it is find a video game with a really good plot. I've always wanted a Kingdom Hearts game. I love the video game series Kingdom Hearts. And I think there's a really nice plot there. I'm surprised Disney didn't try adapting their own video game. Well, I guess because they shared a little bit with Square Enix, right? So I always thought that kind of a movie would, or even work as a TV show. I know I made a video about that. I don't know. There's something about video game movies right now that is not working, and Hollywood, I know they're trying their best to really find that source, that magic. Like, what is it? How do we crack this code? And I'm sure there's a lot of video game fans, especially, that really want to see this finally done right. Maybe it's going to be the next Tomb Raider reboot. Maybe it's going to be Uncharted. Maybe it's going to be something that we're not expecting. Just give us something really cool, because I just seen this trailer for this Emoji movie That's how desperate Hollywood is getting right now. I'd rather have video game movies be the next big thing. Even though I'm not heavily into video games, I see potential for some movies. Get back to a Mario Brother movie and try doing that again. Like studios or even the game companies. Don't be, because I heard Nintendo is scared to do another movie adaptation of one of their video games because of what happened to Super Mario Brothers. I say don't be scared. Take the risk, see what you can do. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, unfortunately, Assassin's Creed was another bomb, but at least they tried something, you know? And that was a movie with a pretty interesting concept once I read about it, but clearly it wasn't executed right. So, guys, comment below if you are a huge video game fan. Tell me if there are any video games that you want to see adapted into film that you think the studios will have a better time adapting, because it seems like they're not picking the right ones, or they just don't know how to do it right. So leave a comment below, like this video if you agree with me, and subscribe to my channel if you are a huge fan of movies, and especially superhero movies, because you guys know I love superhero films if you've been following me for some time. And Arrow, The Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow, I always review those when there's new episodes. So follow me. I do other things too, so you might be surprised once in a while. Check out my Rogue One review, which I'm very excited about. And until next time, take care.